Good day, my name is Drake598Shadow and I'm here today to give you a tutorial on Chapter 2 of Deathwing's Space Hulk, or Space Hulk Deathwing. As you can see, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. I am using the Apothecary just with a standard sort of loadout, so we'll get going. I am playing multiplayer co-op with, you can have up to 4 people, but for today's purposes we're just playing by ourselves.
Ship in the heart of the Space Hulk. After finding out that Squad Gideon had been
do apologise in advance if I'm not as concise
we conducted investigatory
as I'd like to be.
This
is only my second tutorial,
from our
so I'm not quite used to public speaking.
The Deathwing moved to secure entry into the old ship, while we overcame the energy and psychic defenses created by the Gene Stealers. Hard fought was the battle, but the bridgehead had been established, and progress to our objectives continued. We are the Emperor's Blade.
I'll try to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it as I go along. I will point and shoot at certain locations as a marker to give you an idea of where, say, enemies might spawn from. Some good notes that I covered in my earlier video, Chapter 1, was try to spread your damage across as many body parts as you can, excluding the head, of course. You will find that increases your survivability. Also that you fire more or less from the hip, so your gun is sort of going on a right angle towards the center, and that your melee attack will actually block a lot more and protect a lot more on your left than you might actually think. It depends on class setup and loadout as well, and I've just gone the wrong way. Sorry about that, folks. I heard the door open before I even got there, so I know there's going to be a fair few shooters through here. As you can see, I've just locked the door behind me. Enemies do spawn through there, they're mostly close combat units. We don't need to worry about them so much as the shooters down here and up on this ledge. I am out of ammo, and he's down. You'd normally like to have your skills up by about this point, hopefully, especially if you're running with a group. Once you go through this door, you're going to shoot straight over to the ledge. If you have a second person, you might want them locking the door. It's not really advisable to go through this game solo. It is quite difficult, especially on the harder difficulties, but personally I like the challenge. So once you reach around this level, you will see a fair few shooters coming in from over that direction, under where the turret is. I normally try to take them out from around here. It depends on your weapon loadout, like you might not have a blast radius effect, like my gun does. Once they are down, you will have shooters and rocket launchers spawning down that end. But we'll just get across this ledge first. I'm getting pegged in my back from somewhere. Not that important. Anyway, continue on. There's those rocket launchers that I was talking about. Okay, this is not the best spot to be. As you can see, I'm sort of using the terrain to my own advantage as much as possible. when you go around here, there is a turret that is active. You're going to want to take that out quite quickly. You can just duck out of the way, depends on what you have to deal with it. Down here is the first relic for the map, or what I consider the first relic. There's nothing that says you have to go this way, it just sort of works for me, and works for a lot of other people. So enemies can spawn up there, normally shooters again. There's a lot of shooters on this map. Xenos shooters. A lot of enemies will be down there. Can be handy if you have multiple people for someone to flank by jumping down there and flanking on the side. As you can see, I'm getting just a little bit stuck there. Deal with these guys before I do the objective, just because they can deal quite a lot of damage if they get the drop on you and you're not watching. Where is that rocket launcher? Straight down the end. So there's two turrets here that you want to deal with before you activate the objective. If you do not, they will become active and start shooting you. No matter what, I'm going to have to reload here anyway, so I might as well pull back. I would normally not pull this far in, as there is no need. But circumstances allow. You can hang around and fight enemies. They will drop down off of this structure here into the center, but I'm not really going to hang around for that.
Mission status acceptable, brothers.
I do tend to leave that door open as a fallback point when we return later.
The lion guides our fury.
We have to prevent the enemy being reinforced from the nests.
Especially playing solo more than anything. In this case, it is on the right hand side. Enemies will try to climb up that ladder. I do recommend trying to be quick here, as there is a chance of a Cypher or Broodlord spawning. You can fight it from these platforms, but it is not ideal. Hence why you can leave that open as a fallback point. I normally go here and drop down. It is just a little bit quicker, and can be a way to actually get around the Broodlord or Cypher. Enemies can spawn from there and there. It's a little elevator system. They can also spawn in this tube up here. Sorry, that one there. And down there. I normally like to go to the right. And go straight dead center. Like so. As it'll give you the best chance to kill all the shooters as rapidly as possible. From there, they will start to drop down off that top height. I suggest retreating back here, the second relic of the map, and fighting your way back out. For these sorts of things, I recommend using your fist. It is just a little bit easier sometimes to get the hit, as the hitbox is rather quite small. I do need to reload. Probably was not the best time, but as you can see, I spun there to keep my back here as much as possible, as you have less chance of being in the rear, which is your most vulnerable spot other than your head. Okay, so I'm going to try to create some distance. Turn, pivot, run. Turn, pivot. Run, turn, pivot. As you can see, they're not really hitting me too much there, as I control my stamina bar on the right hand side, which is that little blue bar, and alternate between firing and running to create distance. As I said in the first video, you can fight endless numbers of these things. It's not really recommended. Enemies can spawn up there, which is why I shot there. I normally like to go to the right hand side here and lock up, leaving that one open for a retreat later, if need be. It is not guaranteed that it would be needed. First thing you want to do is deal with this turret that is going to be here as quickly as possible. The fact that there are no shooters means normally that you are going to get something rather large spawn on you, so I would recommend hurrying along. And if he doesn't necessarily spawn here, he may spawn on our return, which is why we left that door open. And I hope that they open the door for us while we retreat. Nope, I'm going to be a bit ahead. So I'm going to have to do this instead. A lot of what I'm doing here is just basics that you'll pick up as you go along the game. I do recommend locking up all these large doors to prevent anything larger than a warrior coming through. There is a turret on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. The left-hand side you need to deal with, the right-hand side not so much. You can quite easily leave that. But for the purposes of today, we'll complete it all. I do highly recommend being mobile. It makes it a lot harder for them to hit. So this is the last and final door that you need to lock for the moment. All that is necessary to lock it anyway. Rarely do people come this way, but for completion's sake, we are showing you where everything dangerous is, essentially. And the other turret. So through this door, leaving this one open as we will be returning shortly. You can leave a teammate ready and waiting there. There is another turret up there, which as you can see just shot me. I was trying to deal with it rather quickly. make me reload, aren't you? So there's that other turret that I was just talking about. As you can see, those green flies do reduce your stamina bar, so that I can no longer run, even though I was not running there at all. Okay, so I do recommend your squad has its skills up before entering this door. First thing you want to do is lock it up behind you, or have one of your squad members do that. You will see quite quickly. So the objective here is to activate the beacon again and destroy it. For some reason it just did not want to give me that one. The Hellfire is a very effective weapon for suppression and creating distance when running in the Apothecary. I do highly recommend that gun. I do find the Stormbolter and the MK2 Stormbolter to be a little bit lackluster.
Affirmative, Brother Epistolary. Place an Augur Primus at the attached coordinates.
Place the data transmitter. It will send information about nearby defense
The
and
next
energy
relic
systems
is
to Grandmaster
down here,
Barrier,
through this breakable
so that
wall.
he can triangulate the location of the ancient ship.
So there's that door just off to the right hand side on the minimap that you can see that we left unlocked. As soon as we jump down here, it is possible that there will be a Cypher or Broodlord, and that is one possible route to escape if you do not have the means to defeat him outright. But we're just going to take the normal route and hope that he does not spawn, and if he does, we will deal with it. You can fight him from these steps, but it is not ideal. And he just spawned. So we'll see how we go here. That's what I was afraid of, and I... not coming around, so we are just going to go the safe route this time, rather than trying to take all these out. As I said, I could fight him from there, as it is a safe location, but this is just a demonstration on why I leave the specific door open. And you can see the pivot, turn and shoot there. I'm going to try to get this blocking, and the heal, and run past, and we're aiming for these stairs just ahead. I'm not even going to look around at that point until I hit the stairs. So, there's one way to... you can engage and fight with him in this position. Just remember to keep moving, as he does have a psychic attack, such as that little flash that you just saw. I'm going to wait for my heals to come up in a couple of seconds. And then we are just going to proceed around the alternate way. Even though I just locked this door a moment ago. So we're now going up these stairs, which is in the room that you just blew up. Or the one before that, I should say. But we are just essentially now bypassing the Broodlord so that we do not have to fight him. Feel free to block this if you wish. It's a rather quick way back soon, so... Now the trick here is going to be, in this case, because he is on the map, running to the far left hand side and locking the two big doors there, which are going to be his only two entrance methods. I have never seen a Broodlord or Cypher spawn in these tunnels here, but they do charge up from where we just were, which was down there. As you can see, those connect to where we just were. That was unintentional. You could have locked up the other side, had you a large enough squad, as I explained why I've just done it this way. You can also just as easily lock this door up for the moment, and go in the next one. Puts you in a somewhat nicer position to take out the turret. It is in this room. Hopefully it happens quickly. I do like to go down these stairs. It is a lot less chance that you will be swamped by enemy monsters or Xenos. It is just a little bit safer a route. You may not necessarily need to go this way on easier difficulties, or if you have a larger group. And the last and final relic is just over in this location. Which I'm now going to try to collect before I trigger the final objective. Behind this breakable wall right here. A good way is just to hide behind here. Somewhat a little bit of a cheesy way, but we are single player. They will be coming out of tubes there and there. And as you just saw, there was an enemy psyker amongst that lot. So if that is the case, I do highly recommend moving around a little bit, even if you are just in here. So long as the psychic cannot actually gain sight on you, he cannot shoot you, which is quite handy thing to note. But in a large room with lots of open areas, that is not necessarily a large advantage to you. You will see a lot of people do it this way, as it is just a lot safer. Even if you're only alternating who is out here, sort of thing, and who is in the tunnel. And there is mission complete.
Those your assigned battle zone for your command squad.
And as you can see, the flies have completely reduced my stamina there. Now that that objective is done, there will be 2 rocket launchers, one up here and one up here. Then you are safe and free and clear to leave. Do watch out in case you have not actually killed the enemy psyker, but so long as you have, you are free and clear. You can pretty much take any stairs that you like at leaving. It's not as important. There's not going to be large amounts of enemies. And now essentially we are going to go back through here, which is the way we just left. Or came from, sorry. To avoid the Brood Lord from earlier. If this was on something like normal or easy, you could probably take him yourself, regardless of class, but the Apothecary is not really built for that sort of conflict. I like to take the first drop, and then just duck under to the right, and you've pretty much avoided the first 2 flights of stairs. And the longer you get held up in this room here, the more chances are you're going to get swamped, like you can see I'm starting to there, as they will just continue to spawn. So the quicker you move along, the better your squad is. Now, you can get a Cypher or Brood Lord spawn just beyond this door. If that is the case, fight from these tunnels, as he cannot hit you from under the pipe, sort of thing. That's just the easiest demonstration. I wouldn't bother really with locking that. As long as you hang around, the more chances are that he will spawn. We have a good lead on him at the second, so pretty much just have to worry about what's in front of us, like there. You can sort of see how I fire from the hip, but you can almost, as I said, I think, fire around corners. Not quite to that extreme, but it almost feels like it, because it's the gun is positioned so far to the right, shooting to the centre. So this is sort of the reason why I left this door open here from before. Because if you need to, you can now duck into here and get some sort of cover if your squad needs it at this point. At least I got him on that. As you can see how I'm sort of trying to spread the damage as much as possible across all my sectors of the body. One thing to note here, trying to return to extraction, is there is going to be rocket launchers up here. I highly recommend taking care of them first, and then proceeding to your extraction. This is the extraction point. You can see designated by the blue line. As long as you are in this point, calculations are running. Enemies will come through the free tubes up there and try to get onto that bridge just there. Other than the shooters, they will come around here. So remember to check this bridge, those 3 tubes, and here. As you can see him right there. Well, you couldn't quite see him, you could see his eyes, I should say. That is a good telltale sign of a stealth stream. So once calculations are complete, this is Chapter 2 complete. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, drop a like or comment down below. I'm new to YouTube, and this is my very second time speaking, so try to be kind in the comments, and thank you very much for joining me. Hope you found it helpful. Chapter 2 is quite straightforward and simple, nothing too special. Most of the relics are along objectives, so you should have no real problems. And thank you for watching. I've been Drake598 Shadow. Have a good day.